So today's the day. About a week ago, I ordered the Qidi iFast and just got notice from DHL that it's on the delivery truck. So really looking forward to this, and probably not gonna take my eyes off that driveway until that truck rolls in.
Have a good day.
Here it is, guys. The Qidi iFast. It's finally here. Now let's get it inside. So here it is. Made it in the door with the Qidi iFast. Gonna be unboxing it soon. Just gonna bring it over to an appropriate spot. Wow. This is exciting. Hi, I'm Nate, and I'm gonna be unboxing the Qidi iFast printer today, also known as the Qidi iFast printer to some. Let's get to it. I cut 3 straps already, and then realized I didn't format the GoPro card and it gave me an SD error, so you missed that. My apologies. Last strap. So this is super exciting. It's a new printer, as I was saying, from this company called Qidi. And all the research I did and the reviews I saw, I was quite happy with ordering it and taking the chance on it being one of the best new printers out there. One of the best new semi-affordable printers out there. I mean, for its size, I would say that the price just right. Really well packed. This cellophane kept everything just really durable stuff. You can tell standard packaging really, but they really wrapped it a bunch of times. I mean, with all those plastic straps, you're definitely not going to see the box come apart. I had trouble rolling it onto the table without hitting the slide. The box is so big. See? So we got an SD card, a build plate right there, and then a manual. So let's see if I can get you looking at this from a different angle here. Now it has instructions on the box actually. This is why you should always read the instructions on a box. But basically it says if you squeeze these together and pull them up and off, the top of the box just slips off. So there was no need to remove that tape. Alright, let's get a, hopefully you can see that from there. So you pull up and out, and these just come out. It's kind of neat, actually, like the box says. I'm gonna actually try and lift this straight up. Oh, we got more on the side here. More clips. That's a really neat way of sealing boxes up. Boom. Do not tip that box upside down, or you will go. There we go. So let's see. I'm sure you can see this on camera, but there's nice heavy corners for the box. Really nice. Good to see such great packaging, really. Nice PEI build plate. 360 by 250. See what's in the manual here. Get rid of these things. Little USB stick. Leveling paper. So these are just directions on how to put it together. Installing the extruder assembly, leveling the build plate. Pretty interesting. So we'll set that right here because that's going to be handy very soon. Wow. Everything is really well packaged. It's not going to move in the back during transit, that's for sure. So we got some red. I don't know if it would be PLA or EBS. PLA, some red PLA from Qidi Tech. So we got we got 1 kilogram of filament, and we have a filament box. Good. Some scissors over here. Some tools. So this is kind of interesting. It's like, looks like little hex driver, and a wrench, 9mm, some spacers of some sort, and some nozzles. Connector. And then 2 bus fuses. So that's actually good to see. There must be something in it that's fused, and it's always great to have. Better than blowing parts in electronics. So you got your power cable. Filament spool rollers. Well, spatula, scraper. A little bit rough on the edge, not a big deal. I can fix that, but you know, you see that? Otherwise, a really nice handle. Not a big deal, that's not perfect. So some sort of attachments for the filament spool holders. We'll have to see. Looks like some linear rail there. Show you that. Just some solid bars, so it's, I would assume that's either some sort of linear rail or mounting. And then a pretty nice screwdriver there. Hex, obviously. Got a network cable. Flathead. Another hex driver. Well, enough with the accessories. Time to open this printer. Wow. You ready? Nah, much better. Yeah, there we go. Incredible. Well, here we go, guys. Very nice. You can tell it's just so nice. Has that futuristic iPod kind of look to it. Wow. Looks great. It's massive. I mean, I knew it was massive when I was getting it, but I mean, until you see something in person and understand just how giant it is, hard to fathom. One thing I'm really excited to see is if this will print flex. Wow. Well, let's definitely take a look at the manual. So on page 7 is the unpacking guide. It's always good to look at your manual first. And look at this, guys. Open the box, then remove the locks. Actually, move out the foam and take the accessories, then remove the locks and take out the printer. So, you know, we got it mostly right. So we got our filament, we got a bunch of other things. We're still looking at what's in the printer. So I guess right now, we're at get the parts out. So the first thing we gotta do is remove the clips on the y-axis though. I'm actually gonna take the top cover off, make all this easier. It's actually a really nice heavy acrylic. That's heavier than what your fridge would have in it for drawers for the crisper. I'm quite impressed with that actually. That is a nice heavy piece of acrylic. Same with the door. Now the door is a lot bigger, and but it feels super sturdy. Closes up nicely. Yep. So if you're wondering, all these outside molded parts are some sort of plastic. This I would almost guarantee is acrylic. So that's good. We've got a bit of movement in the build plate while it was shipping, but not to be too surprised about that. But let's check this out. So as you can see, and I did move it around a bit, but not that much. That's being held on very tightly. Those magnets are super strong, you can feel it. Might be a bit of pressure from that foam as well. Once we get that out, we'll see. I'm gonna angle the printer. Well, actually, leave it just like that so we can check this out a little bit more. So, here, maybe I should show you guys this. So you can see, if you look inside, there's clips holding all the axes steady. Oh, that's the y-axis, and that's what they were asking you to do. Right there. Oops. Set that aside. So we did the left side, we did the right side, cut the extruder fixing tie, open the door and remove the cotton block. Now that's foam, but that's understandable. In the translation, a lot of things sometimes get lost. Okay, so then we got to move the foam out in a very specific way. So we move the front piece out to the right, and then it says to move the extruder to the front side and take the foam out. And then they're telling you to plug the power cord in and click on the button to turn on the 3D printer. Settings icon, manual, and you're gonna move the build plate up so you can take everything out that's in the bottom. So let's do it. Because after that, congratulations, we finished the unpacking process. So let's get right to this. Finish up. So there's stuff in here. I'm not sure why, but the GoPro just cut out. But I was just about to say there's stuff in here. So let's take a look at what's in each piece as we go. You know, it comes with an extra extruder head with the ruby nozzle. So if that's what this is, no? But definitely a nice heavy part. Looks like to be part of an extruder assembly of some sort. But I don't know. No point in guessing until you get to that point. Oops. Next, move the extruder to the front side and take out the foam. Easy enough. Here. Interesting part is if you look, minor detail, the rail here is silver, which I assume is just another powder coating, but this one's powder coated black. I don't know, I'd be happy with either. They both look great. It's really neat. So I'll move the extruders forward. They slip forward very nicely. Nice and smooth. We got more stuff here. What do we have here? A filament spool. So this is a dryer. So we're going to do a PDA test. Excuse me. So we're going to do the PDA test. But we're also going to do nylon and some other filaments like TPU and TPE that can tend to absorb a bit of water and make a mess. So we've got a really nice little dry box. We can toss the filament in. And I would say almost bet money on these rollers go inside there. And then you've got a Teflon tube here to go right to the printer to just help feed it. And that would also help keep it dry. This is very nice to see. It's going to be very handy. Well, I could use that with a lot of the other printers. Now we're supposed to plug the power cord in. Let's do it. This is exciting. Turning it on for the first time. What a massive beast of a printer. Three, two, one. Right. Power switch power button. 3, 2, 1. Wow. Interesting. Come check this out. So yeah, go to settings. Manual. And we want to click on the up icon. So if you watch, I'll click on it. So it was just going up. I'm not sure how much. Probably 10 millimeters actually. Yeah. So you can choose. If you hold down, no. So to move the bed up, you press that button a bunch of times. And there's our first look inside, guys. The dual extruders, nice light rail at the back. There's that ribbon. That's interesting. I've seen that in other reviews actually. I watched an unboxing, and those ribbon cables are interesting. I hope they're durable enough. Obviously, Qidi's had a lot of time to tune their products, so I have no doubt that they'll do the job. It's nice looking extruder heads. Here we go. So let's put you back up here. We'll just take out the rest of the parts. So the same thing. Take the foam out the sides. Organize our space here a little bit. Amen. Gently remove the plastic from underneath in case there's air that needs to get underneath that while it's turned on. Remove this. There's a little bit of packing foam stuck way in there. I'm gonna have to get a vacuum or something, I think. Something. I guess that's something a bit notable to check out. If I notice it, you're gonna notice it. So that's okay. That's not the foam I'm talking about. But deep in this corner, and you can see there's a little white reflection of it. One of the chunks of foam fell back there. And I really wouldn't want that to jam something up. So we're gonna fish the vacuum out and grab that, or try and grab it some other way just to make sure we grab it. But so far it's looking great. Excited. It's a long time deciding on a printer, and then it felt like it took forever to get here. It was oh, there we go. Here we go, folks. It's beautiful. So this is the high temperature hot end. Also dual extrusion. Beautiful. So this would be the hardened steel nozzle, I believe. We'll have to take a look at all the parts. Pretty sure they're supposed to be ruby nozzles, and I'm not sure if that's something you can just see when you look right at them. There might be extra nozzles, but they're 0.4 nozzles, 2.4 nozzles there, and then just brass nozzles in the other ones. So those are definitely some sort of hard steel. The famous glue stick that comes with a lot of printers. It's awesome. And that's it for that. Wow. Remove all the foam. Just clean up here. Actually, whoa. Let's keep some of that foam out for a second here. Whoa. There we go. That's not good. Careful how you set that down. Actually, it's a nice angle there. Pretty solid. Wow. So these directions here are actually for swapping the extruder out. The instruction of install of the new extruder assembly. Congratulations, you have received the latest version high temperature extruder that developed by Qidi technology. Firstly, please read the instructions carefully and follow the instructions to install it. So there we go. Perfect. This and this go together. Neat. It's hard to get a sense of the size of this, but when you put the spools, the 1 kilogram spools on it, it's a bit shocking. This is a really big printer. So on the display we've got the extruder temperatures, and they're reading room temperature, the same as the build plate. Let's take a look at this build plate. Wow. Nice. Spring steel. So these are two different build plates that come with it. This build platform's temperature for PLA and PVA is 50 to 55 degrees. The really interesting part about this, the surface of this, it feels identical to what comes on the FlashForge Creator Pro. When I started looking at Qidi printers, I mean, I couldn't help but notice the similarities between a lot of their printers and FlashForge printers. But this build surface, it's a good build surface. It releases PETG really well. I've had a little bit of issue with this type of surface with ABS, but I've not tried spring steel with the PEI coating, which I did just buy the exact build plate for the FlashForge, so it's nice. I upgraded there, and Thus, I believe this too would be considered an upgraded plate. Very nice to have too. That's important. It can ruin a print day, just messing up your print bed, having to wait for parts. Or it's a really nice addition. I consider, you know, that type of thing almost like a gift from the company. And I'll tell you why. Recently bought the GoPro 10, and I won't go into it much, but there is very little that comes with it. So to see anything come with anything these days, it's just nice to show a company or see a company, you know, putting that extra effort in. Wow, those magnets. So that's something you gotta see. So inside here, there's about 30 magnets, and they are strong. There, you're not gonna have any problem holding that build plate to those magnets. And one thing I would say is that same thing that I noticed about the filament box there. There's the same kind of lines, so I really do feel like it has something to do with the manufacturing process. And over time, you know, if you actually wipe that, just the oil on your hands would make that disappear, I'm pretty sure. But very nice. Really, really solid looking. Yeah, this is all metal. This is plastic right here, obviously. We were just talking about that. But that is a nice thick build plate. It's not gonna warp. But nice heavy screws. Some wing nuts and adjustment knobs. Look at that. They've got vents going to both extruders, which is a common problem on some older printers, is that I know my FlashForge had that problem where one of the extruders has a cooling fan on it. So it does really good with TPU and TPE and anything that needs a cooling fan, but the other one, that's the TPU and the TPE is exactly where it meets its sort of its match, so to speak. And you have to print out the upgraded part that people have designed to cool both sides of the extruders. So here, let's take a closer look at this because you can see it on these ones. Nice little turbo fans for cooling, so they'll be nice and quiet. Standard, pretty standard extruder head cooling fans, but the heat sinks, man, those are, it's really nice. I mean, to see, if you look at this, there is not much space between where your extruder gear is and the actual heat break and the hot end. I don't know if you can see inside there, but you can see the heat break going into the heat block there. And it's actually, it's a very small distance. And it's one thing I looked at when I was buying printers. I had to go direct drive, and looking at that pathway really makes a difference. If you want to print TPE and TPU, where the extruder gear is just underneath here, yeah, that has a nice, good amount of tension to that, which you also need with printing the softer filaments. So I have high hopes for this in printing, you know, all the soft filaments. Should do the job. It's got, it checks all the marks for that. Ticks all the boxes, as they say. She should print TPU and TPE, no problem. So they do tell you the aluminum alloy build platform has a relatively large area. Please be patient while the platform is preheating. Yeah, you would think so, eh? It's giant, it's thick. But there's a lot of things about that that'll be good. That platform will hold its temperature really well. It's just not gonna warp being that thick. So let's try placing this. Wow. So you really have to, you gotta like place it at the very edge of the back get it centered, and then it literally, like that is trying to grab absolutely instantaneously, which makes sense, but really hard to explain how it moved in shipping. Oh my gosh. And we'll just put that on there to take a look at it because it's nice. You don't use both at once, but wow. That is something to behold with that textured steel. Look at that. It's just a massive printer. Looks so beautiful. So there's the screen. So we're just going to lower the build platform. I am super tempted to click on that button because there's a camera in it. And I want to see how that all works. I wonder if this is the light. Yes. Camera off. Camera on. Well, clearly we have to set all that up. Super cool though. Yeah. Do a little bit of a walk around here. The Qidi iFast. Kind of like that lightning bolt on the side. Just has such a nice look to it. Give you the top view. You can tell me if I missed any clips. No, I'll figure that out. But so far, so good. It's looking great. I'll keep setting it up and just let you guys watch. We're going to go to page 12, which is adjusting the build platform. So we're going to go to settings here. I kind of want to show you guys this. This is kind of an important part to me, is to show you exactly what's going on. So settings, and we want to go to leveling, and then it says, and one thing I definitely want to do is remove the spare build plate, because it's not there. It's there for looks right at this point, just to check it out. So it says, highly recommend to click the fast leveling at the first time. So that's what we're going to do. So fast leveling. So you can see there's normal leveling and fast leveling, so we'll choose. Oh, I can. Okay. Now that's not right. So something's not right with that. I have seen that before in another review. So let's see. Try that again. zip tie. So I would suspect that following the directions is going through the process. Everything seems to be absolutely fine. So that's great to see. It is super, super quiet. I'm not sure if you can actually get a good idea of how quiet that actually is. Now it's not printing, but it's the axes moving along their rails, and that is smooth as butter. It's just wonderful. So let's check this out. It's going through the leveling right now. So, after the extruder completes moving, please press up and down to make the paper has friction between the build plate and the nozzle. Then click confirm. The bed stopped moving, and we're going to take our leveling paper right here. We're going to slip it underneath until it has friction. Well, that is a lot of friction. So let's go down. No friction. So up. No friction. No friction. That's just starting to feel. I'm gonna go 1.05 up and see. Yeah, so I would actually keep it. So I should have only had to move that down 1 notch, but it felt pretty tight. So I actually started with 5 and then built my way up till the friction felt right, because I didn't want it to be jammed into the bed too long. But now we can just go confirm. And it says the adjustment has been completed. Now it's on to the filament installation, which we did do, or I started doing, mostly because I wanted to get the parts of the filament holder dealt with. So you did see that. Now we're going to load some filament. So normally I wouldn't actually go ahead and just start using the printer so quickly, and maybe I will take some time to sit down and read through this, but we can do this right now just for the heck of it. So we want to click on, so we confirm, we've leveled the bed. We want to click on the filament icon. I like their icons. So the filament sensor is telling us there is no filament. Well, it's right. So it says click on the number when the color changes to red and shows the temperature is rising. Oh, there we go. Sorry. It actually tells you right there to click on the number. So what that is that's unload and that's load. I thought I was adjusting the temperature of the number. Not at all. What we're doing is we're watching extruder number 1 go up in temperature. So that's interesting to note. So I'm raising extruder number 1 in temperature, as you see, and notice that up here on the picture it's showing the right extruder. So I'm gonna go ahead and say the right extruder is the primary extruder, and they should have probably maybe called them 1 and 2, so it was left to right. But obviously that's a really minor detail. It's not something that's gonna get you into any trouble. And if you look up here, as I was sort of saying, there you go, extruder 1 on the right and extruder 2 on the left. It's just a matter of looking. But yeah, this thing's up on a table and I'm not very tall, so I didn't happen to notice that. I'm sure you guys did when I gave you the top view there though. Pretty cool. I'll bring you back over there. This filament's a bit of a clip. So we're up to temperature. You just stick the filament down that hole. We should see filament start to come out of here very soon. That's the first little squeeze. First filament coming out of the Qidi iFast. Good times. It's actually looking, it's their filament, but it's extruding very well. So, it's asked you to print the test file. So when you go and you click on the printer icon, you get a bunch of different things. You got your startup guide, camera usage, use and clean up the glue stick, continue printing, printer profile for Simplify 3D. Interesting. So you can use Simplify 3D. See, these are all questions that I wondered about. Slicing software, Mac or OS, iFast slicer software. So that's just stuff you can install on your computer. There you go. Comes up on the screen. We're gonna hit play. It's a lot of beeping. I thought something was going wrong. Normally when something beeps like that, you gotta be a bit worried. This is the Qidi iFast, a printer so big it barely fit on my dining room table. I had plans, and I thought it would just fit. Turns out, this amazing giant behemoth is gonna get its own custom welded table. It's just that incredible. What a mammoth.